Hi, I'm Tanya from Time and Space Solutions, and today I want to talk to you about your F-type and the clutter it creates. Because really, it's more about the state that you're in than the perfect storage solution or the perfect system. Because over the years, I have heard endlessly from people who come to me, oh, I just need the perfect storage solution. Oh, I don't have enough time, or oh, I just need the right system, and oh, it's because of this other person, it's not me. The reality is, every problem has a root cause. Every situation has a root cause. And if you're looking outward for that reason, well, you need to step back and kind of look inward. Because what happens is that we all have experiences, we all have some sort of trauma or challenging situation that we come across, and it affects us twofold. One, emotionally, which then affects us energetically, in our body, in our spirit, in our soul, and it shifts things. And then secondly, that has a ripple effect with us in our behaviors, because then that original experience changes our beliefs, which then change our behaviors, and then it changes the output in our life. So what does this have to do with your F-type and the clutter? A lot. So think of it this way. If you are a school of fish and you're one of those fish that's in that ocean and you're around a bunch of creatures, if one thing happens, it affects the whole ecosystem. So because there's so many intricate parts that work together and weave together, a storage solution alone is not going to solve the problem. So when we have these challenging experiences, we end up shifting to adapt, to protect ourselves, especially if it was a trauma or a challenging experience. We then start changing our beliefs, and that then changes our outer world and how we operate. And the other aspect of that is that it actually disconnects us from ourselves, it disconnects us from others and how we engage in the world. And again, this affects our total environment, how we spend our time, how we behave, and how we react and respond in situations. So let's look at an example of the flight type, because what that looks like is not setting boundaries, struggling with time management, running around with your head cut off, dumping things everywhere. And so as I mentioned earlier about that school of fish, being in that ocean and everything is just kind of working in unison and feeding off of each other. Same thing. You can't just have the storage solution to solve that problem, because there's so many pieces to the puzzle that are creating that chaos, that are creating the disorder. And anchoring and kind of being aware of your F-type can help you shift so that you get out of that pattern, and then you can put the pieces on the table to see, okay, what are the parts and what needs to be addressed. With that, let's take a step back. Well, what is that all about? Where did that originate from? Were you in a situation where you felt like you weren't safe and you had to flee, or you weren't safe and you felt like you had to flee? That situation got stored in your body, it got stored in you energetically, and then anytime you're in a similar situation, you would flee again. And that usually starts in childhood. So it's so hardwired that we don't even realize that we're operating that way. And so it's really important to, one, you don't have to remember exactly what happened, but just identify, well, where is this anchor point? Whereabouts did this kind of pattern start? And then the second thing is, okay, well, what do I need to release from it? Because something from that situation is trapped in your body, trapped in your energy field, in your mind, and your thoughts, and now hardwired in your brain. What do you need to let go of? Does someone need to hold space for you because you have to release that emotion? Do you have to share your story? Do you have to let go of some belongings that are also associated with that situation? And once you do that, you've created a bunch of space. So you don't want that pattern to come back. You need to fill it with what you want to replace it with. That's a new belief, a new story, and reconnecting with yourself, as well as new behaviors and habits. So it may very well be that that experience affected your ability to develop certain skills and you never learned them. So yes, that storage solution or that organizing system will come in handy. However, you can't do that alone. You need to deal with the emotional, energetic as well. And then at the end, you want to look at, well, how can I nourish my nervous system now? Because your nervous system is so hardwired to go into that flight mode and just like boom, just like that, off to the races, you want to look at doing different exercises to calm your nervous system and be more in ventral vagal, where you're connected to yourself, you're grounded, you're centered, you're creative, and you actually feel like yourself. So to learn more about the F types, check out my blog in the link below and start thinking about, well, what state am I in right now? And how do I get back to being that calm so that I can operate from a place of connectedness, order, clarity, and is there something I need to learn and know because I'm replacing and I'm changing a new way of being? So if you'd like to learn more, please feel free to sign up for my newsletter and subscribe as I continue to share ways of shifting your mindset, shifting your perspective so that you can replace the old with new and reconnect with yourself.